Let's do some pulls. I don't want to keep beating on this thing. We will roll up to the garage and I will show you what car I'm talking about. We got the K20 over here. Yo bro, what up?
Delivery.
Hey, thanks man, thanks. Okay. Guys, welcome back to the channel. So currently we're driving in the Audi S3 and we're going to be heading to my garage. Whenever we get to the garage, I'm going to show you a project I own for approximately 9 years. I'm going to do something special with it because the platform it currently has is a platform that's very expensive and I want to try something different, so I'm going to swap it. It's going to be a big project, but yeah, we'll see what you guys will think of the plans I have for this car. We will roll up to the garage and I will show you what car I'm talking about. So let's see if we can get around all of this traffic. So that actually was a close call. I'm not going to do that again. Alright guys, a little bit of gas. Yeah, that's enough. Okay, one more time. Alright guys, so we're driving up to my garage. So I will see you in a bit. Right guys, so as you may have already seen, this is my MK5 GTI and this currently has around 400 horsepower. It's stick shift and it's front wheel drive. The thing I want to do with this car is I'm going to K-swap it. The reason I want to K-swap it is I'm not going to be able to get the performance goals I want for the budget I have. That's why I'm going to K-swap it. I've came across a great deal where I can buy the K20 engine, gearbox, along with the drive shafts, ECU, wiring harness, just a complete engine to swap it. So I will show you later on which engine I got. I don't think it's the best K20 out there, but hey, let's make it work. I'm really looking forward to this project. You're going to figure this out with me and let's see how far we will come. But first, I'm going to need to pull this engine out. The reason I want to do it in this car is that this car has been with me for over 9 years. I've been through a lot with this car, so yeah, I don't want to say goodbye to it. I like the feeling of this car, so that's why I'm going to be K-swapping this car. And yeah, we may have some hurdles along the way. I'm not going to argue with that, but I like the challenge and we'll see how it turns out. So in the coming days, we're going to pick up the K20 I've talked about earlier, and this will be a big project, but I think we can make it work. So, but before that, we need to clean up the entire garage because it's full of different stuff. Hey guys, so it's currently 1 in the morning. We finally picked up the K20 and it was quite a hassle to get it over here, but as you can see, we got the K20 over here. It's a complete swap and it's the K20A1. But before we could put the K20 in this garage, we needed to clean up the garage. As you can see, it looks a lot better. There's a lot more room for us to work in, and the GTI is currently outside. And as mentioned earlier, it's currently 1 in the morning, so yeah, but we're still going strong. And let's see if we can get a special delivery, because the last thing we need for this is the ECU. All right, guys, so I think I hear someone coming, so let's hope that's the ECU. Yo, bro, what up?
Special delivery.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay. It's 2 in the morning. The GTI is finally back in its place. We have the K-swap ready. So the next step will be, but not today, to pull the old engine out. After that, we can let the party begin. Alright, guys, so it's the following day, and today we're gonna start disassembling the engine. What we need to do is get this old drivetrain out. We need to disconnect all the cables and hoses, and after that we can disassemble the exhaust, the downpipe, and then we can loosen up the motor mounts and make sure that we support the engine and the gearbox, and then we will take it out completely. So let's get this engine out. Right, guys, so everything is pretty much disconnected. All of the cables and the wiring is disconnected, and all of the hoses. The downpipe is disconnected. So the next step we will do is, there is actually one drive shaft that is still connected. You can see it over here. We need to disconnect that one. We need to disconnect the dog bone on the back of the engine. And whenever that's disconnected, we can disconnect this engine mount and this gearbox mount, and then we can drop the engine. So it looks pretty good. We're making great progress. So now we will make sure that we place these behind the back wheels. So I have another one over here, and we're going to place that one on the other side as well. And then we can start disassembling this engine from the GTI. Yeah, jack it up. Perfect. All right, so now we can place the jack stands underneath the car. We will do it underneath of here. Then we will lower the jack, and after that we will do the other side as well. Right, guys, so all of the drive shaft bolts are out. The gearbox itself has a flange, goes in the gearbox, so you can actually pull the drive shafts out without the oil flowing from the gearbox. Right, guys, so now that the drive shaft is disconnected, we now need to disassemble the upper engine mount and the gearbox mount. But before we do that, we will take out the jack stands underneath the car and drop the car down back on its wheels. Perfect. And then we can make sure to use these dollies. We will connect them to each other with a piece of wood. Then we can slide it underneath of the car, and after that we can get the complete VW drivetrain out of the car. Okay, guys, so the GTI motor and gearbox is finally out. Look at all this space we have available for the swap. I roughly did some measurements, and this one is in height about 680 millimeters, and that one is around 620 millimeters. So in the height we have a small advantage, and we can also use a lower profile oil pan. So I think that will be okay. But the overall dimensions is that this engine is about, from the other side of the engine to the gearbox, is about 8 centimeters smaller than that engine. But we'll see we'll figure it out. So the engine is finally out. We're going to support it. Okay guys, so the motor and the gearbox are finally out of the GTI. And what we're now going to do is focus on the K20. And as you can see, we managed to get the K20 off of the workbench onto this adjustable table. First things first, we're going to make sure that the harness is completely disconnected from the engine. So we're basically disconnecting all of the connectors, and we'll be also labeling them so we know where they came from. Right guys, so the harness is completely unplugged. We removed the entire harness. So what we're now going to do is we're going to position this engine and gearbox sideways on this table, lower the table, and after that we can drive it inside of the engine bay and see how it will fit. What we did to prepare the engine bay is we removed this mount. The axles are going to stay in place for a bit. We probably need to remove the downpipe, but as you can see, we made some room. All of the old cables are tucked away. The same goes for the AC lines. And now we're going to see if it fits. We also placed the K20 on these dollies, as we did before with the original engine, so that we can move it around. My main concern is that it doesn't fit between the chassis legs. So let's see if it fits. Right guys, so this is the first fit. And it actually fits between the chassis legs. So this is the original mount on the gearbox from the K20 engine. And it barely clears over here, but that's not a big issue. And we also have some clearance around this area. And this is also an original mount. And this is still the original mount from the VW. So the engine needs to go backwards more. Currently it bottoms out, and it's because of this mount on the gearbox. So we're going to remove this mount and shift it backwards. So now that the mounts are off, we can try and reposition it. So now we have a lot more room. Alright guys, so now that we've taken off the mounts, it fits way better. So as you can see, it shifted back a lot more, but currently it bottoms out on the downpipe. Whenever I push it a little bit, it touches the downpipe. So this downpipe, we're going to remove that obviously because we need to redo the exhaust. And we're going to put a big turbo on this. So we need to refab the exhaust anyways. Whenever we're going to remove this, and the same goes for drive shafts, we're going to remove the drive shafts and then we can see how much we can shift it back even more. And then we can decide if we go for a sidewinder manifold or if we go like a ram horn style. So there are different options, of course. The height, currently it sits quite low. It's about 12 centimeters. So I'm going to figure out how many ground clearance I need. So whenever that's done, then we can make sure that we position this correctly. I'm really happy that this turns out the way that I want it to be. There are no big hurdles. as far as the chassis legs. But I'm really happy that any of the steering hub or housing isn't in the way. The subframe isn't in the way as far as I can see right now. So that was one of my main concerns. It actually looks quite good. So we will see if we need to make sure that we get the mount in this location. That would be better. Also for the drive shafts, because the drive shaft part of the Honda needs to be back more, since this drive shaft is pretty straight. Just eyeballing it, of course, but it's about the same distance that we have over here. So I think that will be okay. So yeah, I'm very curious. And I also tested the front clip, and that's going to fit as well. And we're not going to use any of this since we're going to gut this. So I'm getting rid of the original condenser, radiator, and intercooler. So that should give us a lot of room as well. So yeah, I'm quite happy with the progress we made, and I think it looks awesome. And if you like this video, and if you want to follow the build, consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.